You ever look up at the night sky and just get that feeling? That kind of dizzying feeling when you try to actually imagine how big it all is? Well, today, we're going to chase that feeling. We're going on that journey.
I mean, it's the biggest question there is, right? How big is everything? We can talk about numbers and light years all day, but to really feel it, that's something else. So let's try to build up to it, piece by piece, starting right here in our own neighborhood.
And our roadmap for this whole trip is inspired by this absolutely incredible 3D animation that does just that. We're going to follow its path, leaving our solar system behind and traveling from stuff we kind of know to things that are just completely mind-blowing.
Okay, so to understand the truly gigantic, you got to start with something you can get your head around. First stop, our own solar system. Let's get our feet wet here in our cosmic backyard before we dive into the deep end. So we're kicking things off with asteroids, which we usually think of as, just space rocks. But look at this. That's Vesta. It's over 500 kilometers across. But even Vesta looks small next to Ceres, the biggest thing in the entire asteroid belt. These aren't just pebbles. They're basically tiny little worlds.
All right, now let's take Ceres, our new biggest object, and put it next to something we all know, our moon. Whoa, see that jump? We just went from the king of the asteroids to the giant rock in our sky that pulls on our oceans. The scale is already starting to ramp up.
And here we are, home, Earth. The size difference between our planet and the moon is a scale we can almost visualize. This is our baseline. This is our anchor. I want you to really lock this image into your brain, because from this point on, everything we thought we knew about big is about to get completely shattered.
Okay, take a deep breath. We're leaving planets behind now. We're entering the world of stars. And this is where our intuition just totally fails us.
So here's our sun, the beast at the center of our solar system, right? The thing that could fit 1 million Earths inside it. And yet, you put it next to Sirius, one of the brightest stars in our sky, and suddenly our sun doesn't look so tough anymore. It's kind of small.
But forget Sirius. That was just a warm-up. But now look at the red supergiant, Betelgeuse. You see that tiny little speck of light next to it? Yeah, that's our sun. This isn't just a little bigger. If you swapped our sun with Betelgeuse, it would swallow Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. The entire inner solar system would just be inside it.
And just when you think there's no way it can get any crazier, say hello to UY Scooty. The animation we're following calls these things terrifying giants, and yeah, I get it. Our sun, the star that our whole world depends on, is literally a single pixel here. You can't even really see it, it's just gone.
So how do we even process that? Let's try. How many of our suns could you fit inside this monster? Not thousands, not even millions. You could fit 5 billion of our suns inside UI Scooty. It's a number so big it's basically meaningless to our brains.
And it's not just these giant stars. The universe is packed with other cosmic monsters. You've got these enormous clouds of gas called nebulae that stretch for light years, and supermassive black holes at the center of galaxies. But even these huge things are just tiny little pieces of something way, way bigger. All right, time for the last big leap. We've been looking at stars, but what about the giant structures that the stars live in? We are now zooming all the way out, past our local neighborhood, to see the grand architecture of the universe itself. And this is where we start that final leg of the journey, the Milky Way, our home. This isn't a planet, it's not a star, it's a massive, swirling city of hundreds of billions of stars, and our sun is just one of them. But here's the thing, a whole galaxy isn't the end of the road, not even close. You see, our Milky Way is just one member of a little neighborhood of galaxies called the Local Group, and that entire group is just one tiny little arm of the Laniakea's supercluster, a beast of a structure that contains 100,000 other galaxies. And even that, Laniakea itself is just a single thread in the biggest thing we know of, the cosmic web, a shimmering, universe-spanning network of galaxies. Each step just gets more and more mind-blowing. So, after a trip like that, from a rock to the very fabric of the cosmos, what's left? The only thing to do is try to bring it all back home and think about what it all means.
We really have gone on a journey across the cosmos. We started in our own asteroid belt and went all the way to the edge of reality. We've seen how our planet, our sun,
Even our entire galaxy are, in the grand scheme of things, just unimaginably small specks.
So, after all that, after seeing the real scale of everything, I guess the only question left is, in all of this unbelievable vastness, what do you see? Does it make you feel tiny and insignificant, or does it make you feel connected to something just absolutely magnificent? Really, the answer is all yours.